How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on Captain America Brave New World. Now, of course, this is a 2025 superhero film, and this is the latest to the MCU, while also being the fourth Captain America movie. In this film, we follow Sam Wilson, aka the new Captain America, who is once again played by Anthony Mackie, and he finds himself in the middle of an international incident, and he must discover the motive behind this nefarious global plan. So that's pretty much the story of Captain America Brave New World. Now, when it comes to the previous Captain America movies, the first movie that started it all back in 2011 with Chris Evans as Steve Rogers in Captain America, I overall think it's a great entry to the MCU. I do think that one's a solid entry. But when the sequels arrive much later, which were, of course, The Winter Soldier and Civil War, they are generally my favorite entries when it comes to these movies, as well as for the MCU entirely. They are definitely the best superhero movies I've ever seen, especially for the last decade. However, in recent years for the MCU itself, it has been up and down for them in terms of some of the entries that we've had in recent years, because there were a few of the entries that I was really looking forward to, but they ultimately left me just disappointed with, even though I didn't hate some of those entries that we've had in recent years, because there were a few that I thought were just generally just enjoyable or just slightly just decent, even though we still managed to get a few MCU films that I really loved that we've had in recent years, like Spider-Man No Way Home and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and even last year's Deadpool and Wolverine. But unfortunately for this new entry to the MCU, I wouldn't necessarily say this was a disaster to the MCU, nor would I even say this was a return to form for the MCU, because I overall had an average time here with Captain America Brave New World. The story for this movie I just felt was just generic, alongside having some of the characters in this movie that I felt were just kind of generic as well. And the film has a few numerous subplots and stories that's been thrown into the film, as well as having a few unneeded moments and exposition galore being thrown into the movie. However, there are times where the film has a few plot points to various MCU projects in which the film has a few references to some of those being thrown into the film. Like, there are times where the film has a few references to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Incredible Hulk, and Eternals, which I won't lie were actually kind of cool when it came to some of those Easter eggs that's been thrown into the movie. And there are often times where the film has a few various pieces that they're trying to set up to, and I felt like they were just service level when it came to some of that within this movie. But for Anthony Mackie himself as Sam Wilson and the new Captain America in the movie, he does a solid job for his performance within this movie, although the writing for his character just felt service level within this movie. But everyone else in the film, they do a solid job for their performances as well. And as for Harrison Ford himself as Thunderbolt Ross, he absolutely crushes his role in the film, and I thought he was great in the movie. And as we all seen from the trailers as well, from the posters for this movie, we all seen him being transformed as the Red Hulk. And when it came to that transformation scene in the film, I actually thought it was pretty cool when it came to the CGI for that. Although there are times the film has a few other CGI moments in the film that I felt were just pretty messy, and it just did not work for me in the slightest when it came to some of that. But when it comes to the action in the film, the action is at times enjoyable for some of the camera work in the film and angles. But some of the action just felt clunky, and it just felt like they just didn't reach the exact same level as well the Russo brothers did before with the previous two Captain America movies, with their direction in those two films, because they did a fantastic job of handling the camera work and the choreography when it came to the action scenes in those movies. But in the end, guys, Captain America Brave New World, again, it's not a terrible entry to the MCU. It was one I just felt was just disappointing, but there are a few things that I found myself enjoying quite a bit here, but it's just one I just tend to find this one just being an average entry to this overall universe here. I'm going to give Captain America Brave New World 2.5 out of 5. Like I said, it's not a bad entry to the MCU. It is one I just found just slightly being just average. And it's definitely another MCU movie I would consider being on the weakest side, alongside some of the other MCU films I consider being the weakest entries, like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and a few other ones and all that. And I'm pretty curious to see what's going to happen with the next few MCU films that we're getting pretty soon, because we've got Thunderbolts coming out soon, as well as with the new Fantastic Four movie. But we'll see what happens with those movies. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on Captain America Brave New World. And I'd like to know what you guys think of this movie, if you've already seen this movie or if you just recently checked this one out. And as always, this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.